Jerry Sandusky arrived in court today for the first time since the charges against him were levied, and he quickly waived his right for a preliminary hearing. As you know by now, probably, the Sandusky case was supposed to be going through a preliminary stage in order to determine whether or not it was actually going to go to trial. The prosecution had 10 to 11 witnesses and/or alleged victims ready to go and testify if needed, but with Sandusky waiving his right for a preliminary trial, everything just gets canceled for the meantime, and we all look forward to January 11th when he'll be formally arraigned, and we'll set up the timetable for when the Jerry Sandusky trial will actually begin. There's a lot of outrage out there over the fact that Sandusky waived his right for a preliminary trial. And I get it. It makes sense. The way that it went down in the last possible minute, it kind of sets a bad tone out there, and I understand that. But let's focus on the main thing here. The preliminary hearing is really just designed to determine whether or not a judge will send a case to court. And given all the information that was out there by the prosecution, by the grand jury presentment, and all the information and facts that the defense was actually admitting to and following up on and confirming on their own side, both nationally and publicly, there was really no chance that this was not going to go to trial. So as far as the preliminary hearing is concerned, it didn't really matter what happened today, if it did happen today, because this was going to go to court. And that's really what the basic premise of all this is. So while the idea of Sandusky ducking out of the trial stage right now and hearing some of the testimony against him, it's going to anger some people. It makes perfect sense, and quite honestly, you kind of want to know what he's thinking right now. Nobody really knows, but he's claiming he's still innocent. The defense is still going to stick to that and do whatever they can to get things to go their way. The reason that the decision was made so late seems to be because of some recent reports criticizing and bringing into question some of the testimony by Mike McQueary, who's considered the key witness to the prosecution. So if they can find some holes in the McQueary story, the defense certainly has something that they can go with. But we'll see how that all plays out. And once again, the arraignment for Jerry Sandusky is scheduled for January 11th, and that's when we'll find out exactly how long we're going to be going. If you listen to his lawyer, who spoke for about an hour after the preliminary hearing was wrapped up, he's expecting a number of cases to go into the next summer, next fall. This is certainly not going to be going away anytime soon, so we'll see how Penn State handles it on their end. We know that on Friday, the Tim Curley and Gary Schultz trials will be open up, so it's going to be a lot of interesting stuff coming out, I'm sure. A lot of negative stuff, obviously, but you know what? We got to get through it, and we'll see what happens. We'll see how all the pieces fall together. And that's it. I'm Kevin McGuire. This is the Nittany Minute. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you follow on Twitter at Nittany Minute. And you can follow more Penn State coverage from me on Twitter as well at PSU Examiner.